power of Christ compels ye.
Hello everyone, welcome to New Medium. Today we're taking a look at Mellowb1rd's videos. This is scary because Mellowb1rd has built a reputation as someone pretty credible. Mellowb1rd started his channel as a ghost channel and continues to upload and livestream today. When I go into reviewing videos, the first thing I try to find are mistakes. Simple ones like cuts, and I also listen to the audio for cover-ups. But for the record, this doesn't mean that I don't believe in the paranormal. I want to find genuine videos online. He uploads videos from his home and other places too. He is apparently constantly harassed by poltergeists, and considering the videos he uploads, I'm inclined to believe what he says when he says he got used to it. That's why I chose Mellowb1rd, because he has a good reputation.
Hi, kitty. Kitty!
I watched some of his videos before I started this channel, and now I'm going to watch them again. Welcome to New Medium. Again. I already wrote a script and had to trash it. And let me show you why. In this video, he goes up into his attic after hearing knocking. What's great is stuff actually happens. An orb appears, a hammer is thrown, all the while he's filming on 2 cameras. I watched the video thoroughly, and I think it's safe to say he's the only one in the attic. Before looking at this anymore, I want to show another attic video. Then we'll move on to other areas of the home. The attic video is probably the most convincing video at first glance. First, a fridge is pushed over, then a suitcase is pushed and pulled around. Then the camera falls over. What's annoying about both these videos is not only do they start and end quickly, they also both start with banging. The suitcase video, though sketchy with its 30-second runtime, it is still cool because of how things move. When the fridge falls over, for example, it moves very quickly, as if it's being pulled. As for the suitcase, it gets moved like nothing. And it moves very strangely. When I was initially watching, I couldn't tell that this was the same attic as the other attic video. You can tell from the back of the room, which would mean that the hole to get into the attic is right here. Red flags are flying, right? This is one of his early videos. A trend with those is that they are usually done in simpler ways if they were faked. We proved there is a hole here, but that doesn't necessarily explain how this is toppled over in addition to speeding up. Well, if you listen close to the audio, we have some issues. Even while editing, it took me a second to realize that something else was happening in this attic video. If you watch closely, you can see a visible cross dissolve. If you don't know what a cross dissolve looks like, I've been using them in this video the whole time. See if you can spot them here. And now, see if you can spot it here with the garbage bag. This double audio could be caused by an editing error as a result of the cross dissolve, because it could be some kind of limitations with the program not being able to alter the audio, or it might have just been something that was done by mistake. So to get a better look, I slowed the video down by 50%. Coincidentally, I figured it out. At half speed, the video plays like normal. The fridge falls normally, the audio doesn't sound like it ends abruptly, and the kicker is that the suitcase looks heavy when it's being pushed by someone directly under it. I feel like the evidence of this video being faked can't be refuted. Even if you believe it could still be real, the issue is all of the red flags I just mentioned. As for the other attic video, from the start we have more problems. There's a hammer near the start of the video. It gets flung. This looks like it's a real hammer. It doesn't look edited in. A spirit that usually throws an object doesn't usually make it spin. In plenty of investigations I've watched, they don't ever spin like this. But like I said, the hammer's real. And so is this line. It moves down, we can hear an audible click, then the hammer is flung across the room. This string movement can't be as a result of the hammer, because it moves before the object. This looks like a mini catapult system. All the other objects that are flung can be explained in the same way. So let's talk about the orb. Because of the camera quality being good, there isn't redefinition of things in the scene visible anywhere. So this orb, we can't confirm if it's in the scene, aside from reflections and maybe even common sense. Almost like how the hammer is reflecting, we can hopefully find something similar. We know this isn't his flashlight, because this is what it looks like when it's pointed in that direction. And it doesn't line up with his camera movements either. It also doesn't look like dust, mainly because of its distance. It also can't be a bug, because we should be able to see some defining features like wings or some kind of movement with this camera's quality. The movement it makes is also slow, in addition to it fading away. This could have been edited in. There are some lighting issues that appear, the frame vanishes, in addition to what can optimistically be seen as a compression issue, as its final position in which it vanishes is in frame for a time before it reaches it. I thought these videos were the most credible, but we still have much more to explain in the next ones. We saw this string thing here, and can insinuate that it's a mechanism. To insinuate that this is faked, we'd be insinuating that this is faked. There's a chance he has real content, considering how much is going on in this. How could it be faked opposed to it being real? First of all, I want to mention the sequence of activity happening. There isn't any semblance or sense to it. Poltergeists have been thought in the paranormal world to be troublemakers, breaking and moving things and sometimes scratching people or growling. We can't exactly get into the mind of a poltergeist, but based on actual investigations, no amount of activity would happen at just some house at this speed and in this order. I've watched plenty of investigations, so I can't explain it, but none of this seems right. It just feels off. I went in with the mindset that this video was fake, so I went searching for clues. The first thing I looked at was this. This can that went flying. Notice this thing it's leaning on. It moves with the can. The can flies, but for some reason it instantly stops and rolls over something that's off camera. The second it lands, this thing falls over. This looks like a Ruby Goldberg machine, which is a domino effect of things that makes other events happen. If that's the case, let's rewind to the start. The first thing we see move is this glass cover, and at the same time, the can and the shelf door open. If this was a Ruby Goldberg machine, then there would be strings or something coming from the oven door to the shelf door and the can mechanism. Then the can topples over this can. Then there's a cut. Someone will argue that this isn't, but I'm sure it is. Ruby Goldberg machines often don't work first try, so resets are needed midway and are often spliced together. These blue lines that appear across the screen are supposed to be as a result of the camera being physically hit or shaken in a way that would cause certain areas of the scene not to render. An issue is that the noise immediately disrupts the camera, when in actuality it would be slightly delayed of a reaction. They use the cut to set up other sequences of events. 4 times this happens. The table shakes, and the sink turns on. Cutlery flies everywhere. It's suspicious, but I couldn't actually find evidence that there are cuts, aside from maybe some kind of quality loss and gain that happens the second the blue lines appear. Some pieces where the blue bars appear, I feel like they shouldn't appear, like at the start, and maybe they should make more of an appearance when the freaking table is being shaken like an 80s movie criminal being investigated. Good thing we can see the very first string at the start of the video, but there is something to note about bitrate to understand what's happening. As something moves, sometimes it creates a streak. Bitrate causes a streak because in every pixel, if the color matches enough with whatever the input color may be, it stays that color or is barely altered. So if a string was recorded moving across a tile, every tile it moved past would change color. At the start of the video, you might notice a white line. This white line moves across and can be seen straightening out. It alters these tiles here, and even the doorknob when it finally straightens out, causing this oven top to move. We will give him one more chance by watching one more video. This Ouija board video he does has a glass explode. He probably has a second person with him in this room, probably behind the camera and then under the table. Considering the camera is never pointed there despite him picking the camera up. Looking at nothing most of the time and still not giving an angle to look under the table. I know there's a second person in the room because this drawer moving is cued by him touching the glass. This is an EMF detector, which essentially just detects energy in the air. People give off energy, the earth does, and the paranormal. If the spirit made the glass break, then why didn't the EMF detector also detect the shelf moving beforehand? If the spirit energy made the glass break, it also made the shelf move. These two things happen at the same time, which leads me to believe that him touching the glass in effect would make the shelf move and the glass break. They should work at the same time and be the same source of energy. If that's the case, then why is it that when the shelf moves, the EMF detector stays at a flat 0? It sits at a flat 0 until it goes to 6 to 5 and then 4. The second person makes the shelf move early, thinking that he was going to put his finger on it just then, but he didn't. The EMF detector wouldn't spike up like this if this was a result of him putting his finger on the glass, because it would have detected it the entire session and then spiked up. There would be some detectable energy prior to him putting his finger on the glass. In terms of how it breaks, I don't know why. However he did it, it could be the same way he sets this cross on fire in this other video.
Okay, can you do something in the room I'm actually in, please? Preferably with this one. Holy shit, that's...
Let me know what you think in the comments. Strings, slingshots, attics, and edits. He knows more about cameras than me. This is definitely the most high effort ghost channel I've seen so far. He even had me convinced. Please don't shame anyone for making fake ghost videos, it happens all the time, it's normal. His videos are still good, so send him some love. Thank you for watching New Mediums, Real or Fake. Ghosts!